Welcome to the Retreat Leaders Podcast, the show for visionary coaches, healers, wellness pros, and small business owners who aren't just here to host another feel-good getaway, but to build a profitable, impactful retreat business. I'm your host, Shannon Jamail, retreat strategist, business mentor, and owner of a 46-acre retreat center. I've hosted over 100 retreats around the world, and I've made every mistake so you don't have to. Each week, we'll dive into the mindset, marketing, money, business, and mechanics behind sold-out, profitable retreats. Plus, hear from expert guests who are walking the talk. Whether you're planning your first retreat or scaling your 100th, you're in the right place. Welcome to the show. Hey guys, welcome back to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. It's Shannon, and I have got another special guest today that I am so excited to see her face again. Welcome, Amy, to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's lovely to see you again.
It is so nice to see you again. Amy was one of the attendees to my Vision to Venue workshop in London. And Amy, why don't you just start off by telling us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and just give us some history on you.
Yeah, thank you. It's lovely to be here. So I'm Amy J. I help professionals step off autopilot and live with balance, clarity, and purpose. Can you tell I've been practicing my promise? Alison Kay will be proud of me. And I do that through meditation and mindfulness practices, and I host wellbeing retreats and wellbeing circles.
I love it. I love this so much. Yes, I think Allison would be very proud of you. She'd probably still dig into it because that's what she does. And I love that about her. So, well, Amy, I know one of the things that a lot of folks who are listening to this show are probably in a very similar space that you and I are going to talk about today. And that is having a full-time or maybe part-time, but having a career that maybe is separate from one that you're building as an entrepreneur. And so tell us about that journey for you. I know you talk about working full-time, but you're building your retreat business. Just share some of that. Like, what does that look like for you? You know, what does your schedule look like trying to do your retreat building? Talk to us about it.
Yeah, definitely. So I call my day job my full-time job, and then I call my retreat business my sole job, because
Mm,
it is. And I think, for me, building that sideline business is more than a sideline business. It's not a side hustle. It truly is my sole purpose,
mm,
and I get fulfillment from managing the uh, business side of things, and managing the retreats, and communication with people on top of the day job that I get paid for, and I enjoy as well, but it's not kind of the same. I'm very lucky in that my day job allows me to bring some of my soul work into it as well.
nice.
So within my employment, I am able to host wellbeing circles for my colleagues. I have a women's circle and a men's circle, which I do kind of every 6 to 8 weeks. And so that allows me to bring some of that soul work into my day job as well. And is also a nice pipeline opportunity as well for the retreat business and the outside of the day job circles. So yeah, it's not easy
I
to
think
balance
not.
both. I work full time. I've got quite an intensive professional role, and also as a result of that, I understand the challenges that my colleagues are going through, and my colleagues are my target audience for my retreats. I know I'm my target audience. So in that respect, I have a understanding of some of their challenges,
Mhm.
and I'm able to communicate to them with them on that basis of really understanding of walking in their shoes and understanding those day-to-day challenges that they have. From a business perspective, I have learnt that in order to balance both, I need to put schedules in place. I need to have templated processes, and I need to have very strict boundaries in respect of my time, because otherwise it can be a slippery slide of all encompassing day job into soul job back into day job. And no downtime in between. So yeah, I'm
Your schedule's
using
full.
it's full. It's full. I'm in a position where I don't have young children, so I don't have that element adding to the workload. But yeah, it is full and also fulfilling. So the work that I do outside of the day job is filling my cup as well as driving the foundations for a business. So
So
yeah,
just to
it's
interrupt
good.
for a minute, you're so okay. So you're luckier probably than some people who are juggling both in the sense that you do find fulfillment in your day job and you're able to bring your soul job, your soul work into your day job. That is so unique and so precious.
Mm,
It makes me so happy that you're able to do that because I know there are some out there who are, trying to build their retreat business or their coaching business or whatever may be the case, and they're working on something else completely different, not at all
mhm,
relatable, and they're doing that simply to get to the next point, which, by the way, there's zero wrong with that. Many, many, many people start their entrepreneur business that way. So that's definitely, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just tends to be the norm. So I'm really glad to hear, Amy,
yeah.
that at least you're able to bring some of your soul work into your day job. That's really awesome.
Yeah, I do feel in a privileged position to be able to do that. I feel lucky, and also my colleagues are receptive of it, um, and they are asking for more of it as well, which just proves the point to me that that target audience needs that time. They need those practices. They need that time to press pause on life, just for a
Yeah.
moment, just to come back into themselves. One of the things that I find with many of my colleagues, and this is not purely female colleagues, this is my male colleagues as well, but they are trying to drive their careers and they're trying to build their families and they are looking after young children, and they're also of that sandwich generation that are starting to look after elder relatives, grandparents, parents
Hmm.
as well. And they need to keep fit and healthy, and they need to have a social life, and the list goes on. And looking after their mental well-being, their spiritual well-being, often gets lost amongst that. So just a little reminder for them that they need to look after that part of their well-being as well.
Yay. Okay, well, this makes me so happy that they can feed each other and you get to grow your soul business. Tell me what your talk to me about your schedule for your soul business. So you're working full time. I know that, which by the way is excellent. It's like you're in the this is going to sound really tacky, but you're in the research lab with the rats, and so they get to tell you exactly how to how
I
to
won't tell
build.
them we called them rats.
Yeah,
It's fine.
they're not. They're beautiful rats. They're beautiful. But you're in that research lab every single day. So you're right. You can literally you can pull the messaging, you can pull the clarity, you can pull all of that out from your day-to-day work. But tell me, when do you get time? Like how do you I love that you said boundaries, which is so huge, but talk to me about some of your practices that you have in place so that you can grow your soul business.
Yeah. So I literally have a calendar hung up on the wall, like an old style calendar, because I'm quite a visual person and I like to be able to see where I've kind of blocked time to do certain activities and what activities I've got coming up. So one-off events and smaller events that are happening through the calendar as well. I tend to block a day a month to do the big stuff.
Mm.
So scheduling posts and coming up with some ideas and filming some B-roll for social media and um, doing some planning. So I have like a day a month that I do a lot and just work a full day really for that. And then in the evenings, I kind of set aside half an hour a day as well. When I finished the day job, kind of half an hour to focus on any responses to emails and inquiries, or doing an additional couple of social media posts or anything like that. So I try not to let it take over, because I could do this all day every day and I could keep filling my time
Right.
very easily, but I do need to put those boundaries in place, because otherwise the washing doesn't get done and the cleaning doesn't get done and things like that. And to be honest, I'd rather be doing this than those, but they have to get done as well.
Hey guys, Shannon cutting in here real quick. Listen, the Retreat Industry Forum is happening May 14th through 17th in Denver, Colorado, and it's not your average feel-good conference. This is where bold retreat leaders, venue owners, industry pros, small business entrepreneurs come together to disrupt, challenge, and advance what's possible in our industry. You'll get cutting edge strategy, real world business tools, and high level conversations about profitability, innovation, and sustainability without the fluff or kumbaya. Join myself, my friend Erin and Allison, along with other powerhouse leaders for 3 immersive days of connection, collaboration, and serious business growth, plus an exclusive VIP experience for those ready to go even deeper. Get all the details and grab your ticket now at retreatindustryforum.com. This isn't just another event, you guys. It's the movement that's reshaping the future of the retreat world. I know. Well, it's yesterday. Lily, my assistant, and I were talking, and I was like, I listen to my business books and podcasts and stuff like that when I'm doing laundry or when I'm doing house chores or maybe going for a walk or whatever. And so I'm pulling in some of that during that time because I feel you. These things need to get done. And yes, you can hire it out, and that's fine. And maybe you do, and maybe some people do. But there's still some certain chores you're just going to end up doing yourself or just need to be done, even if it's grocery shopping, whatever. Is your long-term goal to do your soul work exclusively? Talk to me about your long-term goals and the retreat business.
Yeah, my big, hairy, audacious goal is to have my own retreat venue. That's where I'd love to get to. And I haven't quite worked out whether that's going to be in the UK yet or whether that would be somewhere in Europe, but I can see it. I've got it in my mind. Like if I close my eyes, I can literally see it. And that's where I'm aiming for. And everything that I'm doing along the way is with that goal in mind. So that's the long-term goal. And in the short term, I'd love to be in a position to reduce my full-time work hours down to part-time and then have more of a balance in the week of my soul work and my paid employment as well. Oh, my soul work is getting towards being a paid employment. That's the goal as well.
Yep.
Is to make that a profitable business in its own right on top of my day job as well.
Well, I have a recommendation. I was trying to get to it, but I can't seem to get to it. And I think I might have put it somewhere else. Anyway, draw out your retreat center. Like, actually, if you're not, listen, I can't draw for shit, but draw it out. There's something that has to do with textile and your visual and all that.
Okay.
Draw out the buildings, draw out just the layout of it, what it would look like if, even if, just keep going with it and then have it somewhere. So that's what I did with Retreat Ranch. I literally drew it on a piece of paper a decade ago and I drew it out. I drew out the buildings. That's why I want to find it so bad. So that way I'm like, I know I had it over here, but I remember grabbing it for somebody else. And it's so not exactly what I built, but man, it kept my vision burning and it kept me so excited. And anytime I was like, oh gosh, I would just look at this drawing that I did. And I draw like a 7-year-old, not even seventh grader. Seventh grader can draw. Like my drawing skills are not the point. If you want to do it online on a computer, you can, whatever, but like draw it out because it's so powerful. I am not a complete woo-woo, but I like woo plus science. And there is science that backs up vision boards and visual manifestation work and just draw it out, girl, because we need more venues that allow people to have space to heal and grow and become the best version of themselves. And so I want you to open that space, whether it's Europe or the UK, wherever it is, I want you to open that space because we need you and we need your space.
Yeah, I'd love to. And I come from a hospitality background, so I have that background. I know what good looks like. I was an event organizer for hospitality venues, and so in respect of the details of what that feels like, and also I've hosted my own retreats in venues and been on retreats in venues. So every place I go, I'm just gathering more and more momentum and ideas and inspiration and adding it to it. And I also am a firm believer of the vision board. You can probably see it in my background on the shelf. That's my vision board for 2025. And a friend and I are hosting a vision board workshop in January next year as well, because I agree. having that in a place that you see it regularly
Yes.
is really powerful for reinforcing that manifestation.
It is. Mine is right here next to me. And as I'm looking at it, I was looking at it the other day, my 2025 vision board. I literally hit every single one on there except for one. And I have, I don't know, 20 different goals. And there's only one, and that's more of a long-term goal anyway. So it's kind of like your venue. It's
Building it.
building,
Yeah.
yes, building it. So it's going to be on there next year and probably the year after. And I'm telling you, it's so powerful. It's so powerful
Mm.
to do that and to write your notes. And then the last part of that, I would say, is I used to just sit and you could call it sit in meditation or sit in prayer, but I would visualize how I would like feel in the space, like walking around. I
Mm.
would pretend to be walking around in the space and like feel it in the cells of my body. There's something that also happens, again, woo, whatever, but like you start to attract things and connections and you build this network and things just start to happen that
Mm.
you're bringing in the more you feel it in your body. You feel it in your body, you feel it, you feel it, you feel it. And so anyway, you're already on the right path. You're already doing all the things. And so just, adding maybe a little bit more with the drawings and the feeling and just sitting with it. Continue to write your notes about it because I'm telling you something's going to pop up and you're going to be like, wait a minute, how is this falling in my lap?
I love
That's,
that. Yeah, I'll
yeah.
get the colouring pens out at the weekend.
Yes. Okay. Well, you'll have to share a picture of what you draw because I kind of want to see what this is going to look like. Well, okay. Awesome. So you're building up your soul business and your goal, let's say next 3 to 5 years, is to build it up to a point where it can take over at least become a truly part-time income generator and
Mm.
and then maybe eventually, I don't know, 5 to 7 years, 5 to 10 years, whatever that number is, it could be in 3 years, it could be two, who knows? It will then lead into you opening and running your own venue. Um,
That's yeah, exactly that is to keep the momentum going on, hosting retreats and hosting circles and building that network with that goal in mind. It's all baby steps
yeah.
towards where I want to be. Yeah.
Yes, yes. But those baby steps are actually what moves the needle. Sometimes we think it's these big, giant steps that we see people take, but we missed the thousands of baby steps that they took to take that big leap, right? I know a lot of people do that for me. They're like, how did you open a venue? And I'm like, I was 15 years in the making. It wasn't just like, oh, we're open and we're in business. It took 15 years to get to that point. So yeah, all those baby steps matter. And along the way, Amy, I think what also really matters is investing in yourself along the way,
Mm.
which is how we met. You came to the workshop in London. You spent an entire day with me and Allison and Aaron and other amazing individuals. We had such a cool group, by the way. Like,
We did.
it was so cool. I just love it when like all the energy just aligns really well and we get so much value out of each other. But
Yeah.
you spent the day doing that. So talk to me about investing in yourself and why you think that's important for your growth, especially in your soul business.
In any other profession, if you are expecting people to pay you for a service, there is an expectation that that person that you're paying for that service has done their training, has invested it in themselves through college, university, training courses. And for me, I don't think that retreat leadership should be any different. It's a professional business. And I invested the money, time, and effort in doing my studies and degree for my day job. Why should I not do the same for my soul job? And
Mm,
I did study. I studied under Brockhowl Biddle in her Retreat Leaders Society for a year before even thinking about
hmm
hosting my first retreat because I wanted that background of education and I wanted the tools because that's the other thing is when you invest in events like the Vision to Value workshop that you held and the event that you're holding next year, it's not just going and listening to somebody, but you get the tools and you get the experience and you get the conversations and the network. And I've kept in contact with a number of the people that I met in that session that we did in October. So yeah, I think there is an importance of investing in yourself so that your audience can trust in you, that you are a trusted professional. And by doing these trainings and attending these courses, it's just value that you wouldn't get from experience alone.
Ooh, okay. I feel like you gave me all body chills for a number of reasons because you are exactly right, Amy. There's this weird disconnect in the retreat leader space that people are just not going to invest in themselves. They're just going to give something a shot. And it's like they're throwing slime at the wall and hoping that it sticks. And it's not even
Mm,
glittery slime. It's just, let me just see what, I'm throwing it there. And they're almost, I don't know, I don't think afraid is. They just don't even think it's needed to invest in themselves. And you are so right, Amy. If somebody comes to one of my retreats, they're going to hope that I've invested in myself to hold that space properly, right? And
yeah.
to be financially responsible, emotionally responsible, the whole thing, like just to have a leadership responsibility to hold that space. So that is so beautiful. And yes, these workshops, whether it's my workshop or the one in May at the forum that I'm doing, or whoever, whatever it is that you feel that you trust that person or persons, the other thing that happens other than the skills and the learning is that connection, Amy, that you talked about,
Mm,
and the networking, the live energy. Listen, I'm all about online. We're online right now, and I'm so grateful for this. And you're listening to me online or via podcast app. But that live energy, girl, there's
yeah.
nothing that can touch that. And that momentum that you get from that really can catapult you and motivate you and fire you up, as well as create those contacts that you talked about. So I'm really glad that you shared that. I literally have all body chills because it's like, I'm so grateful that you shared that.
It's an area that I actually would like to see a little bit more rigor around,
Yeah.
in respect of there are a number of inexperienced or poor leaders in this space,
Hmm.
and they unfortunately then give us a poor reputation in the
Yes.
industry. And it diminishes those of us who are operating in this space as professionals. So yeah, I'd
Yeah.
actually like to see a little bit more challenge from retreat attendees on
Yeah.
asking about what training their host has done, and their previous
Yeah.
experience. And and I appreciate, as somebody like myself getting into the industry without that experience, it's hard. But also these networks are where your experience can come from.
Hmm.
One of the women that was on your training in October is coming to support you on one of the retreats as a support for the
Yes.
retreat, right? And
Yes.
so those relationships around working together and creating those opportunities for experience come from attending sessions like these.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. And maybe you can find, really cool deal, Amy, and jump on an airplane and come see us in Denver in May.
I am working on it. I'm
Yay!
really working on it. At the moment, the dates aren't aligning for me, and also it's out there in the universe, and I'm hoping that things will change and that's going to work out.
You know what? I'm a big believer. So let's transition. I want to hear about the work that you do. So tell me about your retreat, who it's for, when it is. Like, I want to know all the juicy details.
So my next retreat is in September 2026, and it is for professional women because that's who I work with for the majority of the time. It's meditation and mindfulness based retreat, and it's in Menorca, which is one of the small islands near Spain, part of Spain. And the reason that I'm taking my retreat to Menorca is because that's where my aunt has lived for the last 50 years, and it's where my grandparents saw out their final days. And so
Mm.
it feels like a second home to me.
Mm.
It's a safe space for me to take my first international. This year I've done two UK based retreats. This is my first international overseas retreat.
Yay.
So yeah, I know, I'm very excited about it. So it's kind of my second home. It's a safe space for me to be able to do that. And also it's part of the reason why my business is called La Vida Lagom, because the La Vida bit is Spanish for life, And
Mm.
I've just always enjoyed that slower pace of life in Menorca, in Spain, the kind of mañana attitude of, we'll come to it when we come to it. And just for me, it's a beautiful island for just slowing down and coming back to ourselves and practicing mindfulness and having moments of meditation overlooking the Mediterranean Sea. And can't wait. It's going to be amazing. And I've only got 2 spaces left.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I was again, through the practices, through building our mailing list, through building our community. I had 8 spaces, and I managed to sell 5 before it had gone for public release. So uh,
Woohoo!
yeah, yeah,
That's
it's great.
incredible. That's incredible. So you've got 2 spaces left. It's in
Two
Spain,
spaces
which is on
left.
my
Yep.
bucket list. So I'm going to check out your retreat personally as well. It will
Love
also
that.
be in the show notes for anybody who is interested in checking it out because it sounds pretty damn magical. And Spain's on my list. Like, there's only a handful of places I haven't been that I want to go to, and that is one of the ones on my list. But also, just to spend time with you would be pretty magical. So, well,
Yeah.
thank you, Amy. I am so glad that you were on the show today. I am so excited
Thank
for
you.
you. I know where your future is going, and it's super, super, super bright. I hopefully maybe we'll even see you. If I don't see you at the forum, I might actually see you in Spain because this sounds pretty cool. Oh, I do want to say before I close,
Mm,
you mentioned something that really resonated. You said that this is your first international retreat, and you're going to a space that feels safe for you to host in this,
mm,
and it's a place that you're familiar with. It's a place that you love. And that, by the way, I think is really critical for anyone who's planning a retreat that's maybe outside of their home area, their day-to-day
mm.
area, it's a reach, let's call it, right? So international is always a reach. To me, it's always a reach when it's your first one. And for you to pick a place that it deeply resonates with you, Amy, is gold. It is beautiful. It is perfection because I've seen, unfortunately, listen, there's hoopsa to anybody who is like brave enough just to say, I'm going to go host a retreat in Bali and has never been there. That's not really my jam. I don't recommend it. I think it can get tough when you start to hold space and things go sideways because things always go sideways and you don't really
Hmm.
know the rules or who to contact or what to do. Or your guests naturally will say, hey, I want to stay longer. I want to come earlier. What do you recommend? Where can I go? Like, there's all these things that can happen. And if you have never been to that space and you don't feel good in that space, and you're not familiar with that space, I just don't recommend it. So I just wanted to point that
Yeah.
out, Amy. I think that that is so beautiful for your first international retreat.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's, as I say, it feels like a home from home, and it made sense for me to want to take people there to experience the magic of the island. So yeah.
Yay. Okay. I love this so much. All right, guys. Well, Amy's information will be in the show notes. And really, I just want to say thank you, Amy. I know our paths will cross again in
Hmm.
2026.
Oh yeah, definitely. And thank you again so much for having me.
Thanks for tuning in to the Retreat Leaders Podcast. If you love this episode, please make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your retreat besties. Want more support? Grab free resources at theretreatleadersplaybook.com. Until next time, lead boldly, serve deeply, and retreat profitably.